The story that I'm going to narrate comes to us from the Baiga tribe, which is an indigenous tribe from central India. Once upon a time, there was an old man who used to work for the Raja, the king, for many long years. After a long service that was well done, the king gives him a great big piece of gold. Now, this old man is so very happy with that big heavy piece of gold, and he is going back home with a great big smile on his face. Now, on the way back to his home is a river. He puts the gold down, he goes into the river to wash his hands and feet. Now, by the time he comes out, all he can see is a dog going off and the gold is missing. And he gets incredibly angry, looks around, there's nobody. And then he says, "This has to be the hand of God. Bhagavan has done this. And I'm very angry. In fact, I'm going to beat Bhagavan," he says. Picks up a stick and he starts looking for God, waiting to beat him. And he goes here and there and everywhere. Dauda, Bhagat, Ihu, Uhu, Dauda, Bhagat, Ihu, Uhu, until he meets a Seth, a merchant. And the merchant looks at him and says, "Are Dada, ऐतकी तीज कहाँ जात हो?" And he says, "Hut! Move out of my way. I'm going in search of God, Bhagavan, and I'm going to beat him." "Eh ho Ram, you're going to beat Bhagavan? Okay. In that case, before you beat him, just listen to this one thing. You see, look at this big well that's there right in front of me. I've been waiting for water to fill, but not a single drop of water is filled inside this well. Please, when you meet God, ask Bhagavan why." "Ho," says the old man, and he continues with a stick looking for Bhagavan to beat him. And he goes here and there and everywhere. Dauda, Bhagat, Ihu, Uhu, until he meets a horse who's swishing his tail and lazing around. Sees this old man and he says, "Are Dada, ऐतकी तीज कहाँ जात हो?" And the old man looks and says, "Hut! I'm looking for Bhagavan to beat him." "Eh ho Ram, you're going to beat Bhagavan? Oh, but before that, just listen to me. Look at this. What a fine horse I am, shining from head to foot. But 12 monsoons have gone by, 12 years, and not a single rider on my back. When you meet Bhagavan, ask why." "Ho," says the old man, and he continues with a stick in his hand, going here and there and everywhere. Dauda, Bhagat, Ihu, Uhu, until he meets a Gond man, a tribal, who looks at him and says, "Are Dada, ऐतकी तीज कहाँ जात हो?" And the old man says, "Hut! I'm looking for Bhagavan so that I can beat him." And the Gond man looks at him and says, "Eh ho Ram, you're going to beat Bhagavan, but before that, look at me. I have not one wife, not two wives, 5 wives. But now, not one, not two, all 5 have run away. I'm alone and all I have is my sister. When you meet Bhagavan, ask why." "Oh," says the old man, and he continues to run here and there and everywhere. Dauda, Bhagat, Ihu, Uhu. And he goes until a devar, a healer, looks at him with a twinkle in his eye. He says, "Are Dada, ऐतकी तीज कहाँ जात हो?" And he says, "Hut! I'm looking for Bhagavan. I'm going to beat him with this stick." "Eh ho Ram, why do you want to beat Bhagavan?" He says, "You don't know anything. I had a big piece of gold with me. The Raja had given it to me. I left it by the riverside and I go in just to wash my hands and legs. And by the time I come back, the gold is gone. Bhagavan has done this. I'm going to beat him. That's why." And the Devar looks and says, You cannot just go and ask him and beat him. You have to first write a letter. Write a letter? I don't know how to write a letter. Devar says, I will write the letter. Tell me. He says, okay, write. First, there is a Seth who has a big well and there is not a single drop of water in the well. Ask Bhagavan why. Ask. And then there is a horse. A fine horse, shining from head to foot. But for 12 monsoons, 12 years, there's not a single rider on his back. Ask Bhagavan why. Ask. And then, poor gond man. He has not one nor two, 5 wives. And not one nor two, all 5 wives have run away. All he has is his sister that he lives with now. Ask Bhagavan why. Okay? And the Devar says, okay, I'm writing. Don't be so fast. Anyway, let me tell you the answer. First, go and tell the Seth that there's no water in his well because he is not parted with any gold. Ask him to put a gold ring in the soil and then there'll be water in that well. Then make sure to go to the horse and tell the horse that he has to have a saddle and then a rider will sit upon his back. And then don't forget to go to the Gond and tell the Gond that he has to first marry his sister off and that's when his wives will come back. You see, he cannot have marital life without his sister enjoying one herself. You can go and marry his sister. And when you go to the horse, you take the saddle and you put it and you get to ride it. Now you go, he says. So the old man looks at him with so many answers in his head. He says, ho. And confused, he just takes the stick and he turns and he goes all the way to the Gond man. And he looks at the Gond man and says, I know why your wives have run away. Look at your sister. She's not married. She's with you and she has no marital life. I will take your sister as my wife. And then your wives will all come back. And so it happened that he got married to the Gond man's sister and it was true, all his wives came back. And then this man and his wife went and he looked at the horse and says, nobody is riding you because you have no saddle. And he places the saddle upon the horse, he sits on it and there he starts to ride. On the horse with his wife, off he goes to meet the Seth. He looks at the Seth and says, you have to give a little bit of gold, put it in the soil, put a gold ring, and then there will be water in your well. I know that now. And so the Seth puts a gold ring and indeed his well is filled with water. The old man, his wife and the horse go into their home and as he opens the door, there sitting inside his home is the dog who has got that piece of gold all the way and placed it right next to him inside the house. The old man looks at it and says, it was you all along. You took the gold. And he scratches his head and he says, Eho Ram, the Devar was not the Devar. Whom did I go to try and hit? Oh, Bhagavan, forgive me. And that was the story. And the old man and his wife with their horse lived happily ever after.